Alright, let's do it. Let's get into this. Are you guys a fan of Mark Russell? I know he's kind of a cartoonist, satirical kind of writer who did a bunch of political stuff before jumping into comic books. Let's put it this way, with me and Mark Russell. I loved Snagglepuss more than I've loved any comic book in a long time. And then I loved the Flintstones so much. And the Wonder Twins are so good. And Second Coming, I have mixed feelings on, but I think overall it's a really fun read. So here we go into his new series called Billionaire Island. And what's the premise of Billionaire Island? Well, this billionaire builds an island in international waters where you can do whatever the fuck you want. It's so good. It's just so funny. And I've loved this first issue so much because it is straight up a billionaire being a dick to a bunch of poor people. Which, I know I'm not doing it justice just by saying that, but if you just see the satirical nature of what he's written and how he writes these characters, this billionaire named Rick Canto, who just, if anyone goes against him, he just locks them in a big hamster cage. If anyone tries to tax him, screw off, you ain't taxing me, we're in international waters, baby. I can boot you out of here, I don't care. It's just so satirical. And it's just satire at its purest form of satire. What happens when the wealthiest of the wealthy, the 1% of the 1%, can do whatever they want? That's what we're leading to. That's what's going on here. And I'm surprised how topical it got with this one idea of releasing a virus to test it to see if you can market off the cure for it, which, holy shit, how topical can you get in these times when everybody is scared of a little illness? Like, it is such an amazing idea. So that, the whole part of that comes from, there's this one character who's kind of like your Billy Butcher, your guy who is going to go against the rich and the wealthy because his wife and his daughter, or is it his son? His wife and child were killed by this virus that these two big billionaires, Rick Canto and then his partner, they released into this country. And they were just like, well, we're seeing what we can do here with our... and then we can market a cure for it. And it killed a lot of people, but it didn't matter until, and I quote the book, until a white man died from it. Which, wow, that's great. That is, wow, that was amazing. So then this guy, I can't remember if he gets named, but he's in all black, of course. He's the anti-hero going after the establishment. He is just pissed off. Kills Kanto's partner, because he's out for vengeance, and I feel like a big part of this story is going to be this Billy Butcher type character going to Billionaire Island and just killing everybody who's a dick, which I'm very excited for, because when you get to the issue of like economics and like the class status and that kind of stuff, I don't like talking about it. I think it's obvious to see how the upper echelons of society views the lesser than, not the lesser than, but the less, you know, it's just, what am I trying to say here? What am I trying to say here? When you see rich people looking down on the poor people, I get it, and I understand how you can make that into a joke, but I also like the idea of the lower classes retaliating against that. It's why I liked Snowpiercer so much, and I think it's why I'm gonna like this book a lot too. And they don't do anything to make Rick Canto a nice guy. Like, he boots an RIS agent off of the island, he locks up his accountant, he locks up a news reporter in a hamster cage, and every once in a while he's gonna release money down there so they feel like they're gonna get out and spend all the money, but it's just enticing them to stay there because they know they're gonna get more money. It's just so brilliant. I don't know why this is so good and interesting. It's just so weird. But it works because Mark Russell understands this kind of stuff. And it's just brilliantly written. I don't understand why this is so good. Like, it's upsetting me. Just the way I think about it and the way I know it's going to play out in further issues is like, man, this is just great and brilliant. And if you guys aren't a fan of Ahoy comics, I really think they're going to be the next, well, not the next big thing, obviously, but they're going to be, I think they're going to be right up there with your Image or your Valiant, where they got all these great books that everyone likes to talk about, and they're really fun. I like what they're doing here. Second Coming was a great pickup for them, and now doing more with Mark Russell, it's great. I'm so excited. So Ahoy Comics, if you're listening, which I know you're not, but if you are, Ahoy Comics, I have a couple ideas I'd love to run by you. Like, I would love to pitch a couple books. Maybe not as great as Billionaire Island, but hey, it could be fun too, because you guys are doing some great stuff. Planet of the Nerds is really fun too. I'm liking a lot of your books, so keep it up. You guys really know what you're doing, and I'm very, very happy with it. So thank you for making Billionaire Island. Mark Russell, you're a genius. I can't wait to see more of what you're doing. And it's such a great book. Everyone should go out and read it. That's going to do it for me in this review of Billionaire Island. I hope you liked it, and if you did, you can like the video and you can subscribe to the channel. You can check me out on Patreon for exclusive content, and even this week's weekly pull where I talk about every comic book that I got this week that came out. So thank you for listening, and I'll catch you in the next video. Get that money, guys. Get that money. Tsunami Studios.